Hello dear students. Today we will be discussing on accounting for share capital, where in our previous video we have discussed about on how the shares are being issued. A company may collect amount on its shares by offering its shares to the public in easy installments. So we know that the company will collect the money from the public in a form of installment. So the first installment is called as application money, the second installment is called as allotment money, and the third installment is called as the first calls, the second calls, and so on, or we will call it as the remaining installments. Now, when we are talking about the first installment, students, you need to remember that there are two journal entries. So, kindly follow your notes. Okay. So, the first journal entry is for the money being received, and the second journal entry is for the transfer of money that is being received on application, which is transferred to share capital account. When we're talking about the second installment, we have another two set of journal entries. So journal entry 3 is for the allotment money which is due meaning pending, and the fourth journal entry will be on allotment for the allotment money being received. When we're talking about the calls, okay, again there are two set of journal entries over here. The call money is going to be due and call money being received. So kindly follow your notes in order to understand what are the journal entries that are passed under application money, allotment money, and calls. Moving ahead, the company may issue the shares, and when they issue the shares, it can be at par, premium, discount. Again, follow the previous video for the entire explanation of this slide. Now, we will focus on those problems when the company issues the shares at par. So let's quickly look into the meaning of it. When the issue price of the shares is exactly equal to their nominal value, it is called issue of shares at par. So that means the nominal value and the price at which the shares are being issued is going to be equal. So students, in your notes, give the heading as problems under accounting for share capital when shares are being issued at par. So here you have the first problem. The Bangalore Software Company Limited issued 5,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. The amount was payable as follows: rupees 2 on application, rupees 5 on allotment, rupees 3 on first call. All the shares were subscribed and the amount was duly received. Pass the necessary journal entries. So let me break up the question for you. Bangalore Software Company Limited is issuing shares to the public, that is 5,000 equity shares. So we know there are two types of shares: one, equity shares; two, preference shares. So in the question, if they specify about equity, then please make sure in all your journal entries you need to write equity in front of shares. Now these shares are being issued at rupees 10. The amount was payable as follows: rupees 2 on application, 5 on allotment, 3 on first and final call. So that means this is the way Bangalore Software Company is going to collect the money from the public. So let's see whether the issue price is equal to our nominal value. So if you just take the sum of this, 2 plus 5 plus 3 is 10. That means our nominal value or the face value is equal to issue price. That means the shares are being issued at par. Let's look into the next part of the question. All the shares were subscribed and the amount was duly received. All the shares were subscribed. That means the shares have been subscribed on application, allotment, and first and final call. And the amount was duly received. So now We know that students, on application we have two set of journal entries, and over here you can see in the first set of journal entry it is the money is being received through bank account. Okay, in the second set of journal entry we know that on allotment we are going to receive the money, and as well as we are going to receive the money on calls. So what does the question tell us? First, all the shares are being subscribed. 2. The money was duly received on application, on allotment, and on first and final call. That is the meaning of the sentence. So now we need to pass the necessary journal entries. Journal entries in the books of Bangalore Software Company Limited. Students, you know the format of journal. So first column is for date, particulars, followed by ledger folio, debit column and credit column to record the amount. So now we are going to pass the journal entry for first installment, that is application. The money received on application is going to be 2 rupees against 5,000 equity shares. So it's going to be 5,000 shares of rupees 2. The journal entry is bank account debit to equity share application account, narration being share application money received. So we have received, as per the question, the money on share application, which is debited through bank account, 5,000 equity shares of rupees 2. Now the same application money is now transferred to share capital account. So then the journal entry is equity share application account debit to equity share capital account, being share application money transferred to share capital account. So whatever the application money that we received is now being transferred to share capital account. That is, on 5,000 equity shares on application we have received 2 rupees. So the amount that is being debited and credited is 10,000. So here you can observe, students, in the journal entry I have used the word called equity because it is being mentioned in the question. Journal entries is for allotment. So on 5,000 equity shares, rupees 5 is being collected on allotment. Then the journal entry is equity share allotment account debit to equity share capital account, being share allotment money due. So money is still pending. We haven't received it. That is on 5,000 equity shares of rupees 5. Now in order to receive the money, the journal entry will be bank account debit to equity share allotment account, 5,000 shares of rupees 5 each. The amount that is being debited and credited is 25,000. So as per the question, we have received the money. Then the narration will be being share allotment money received. The last set of journal entries for the first and final call. Over here, on 5,000 equity shares, rupees 3 is being collected. And the journal entry is equity share first and final call account debit to equity share capital account, being share first and final call money is due. Due meaning pending. So on 5,000 equity shares, rupees 3 is still pending. Then the amount that is debited and credited is 15,000. Now we need to receive the money. That is through bank account debit to equity share first and final call on 5,000 shares of rupees 3 each. As mentioned in the question, the amount is duly received, that is 15,000 debited and credited. So with this we write the narration, that is being share first and final call amount being received. So with this, students, we have completed passing the necessary journal entries. Please write all the journal entries one below the other. Over here in the question, they have not mentioned anything about the date, so therefore we will be using the serial numbers as journal entry 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. At the end, there is no need to do the total of debit column and credit column. So let me take you through another set of question. The MTNL Company Limited issued 10,000 ordinary shares of rupees 100 each. The amount was payable as follows: rupees 25 on application, rupees 35 on allotment, rupees 40 on first call. All the shares were subscribed and the amount was duly received. Pass the necessary journal entries. So in this question, we understand that MTNL Company Limited has issued 10,000 ordinary shares. Ordinary shares meaning it is just a normal share. So please do not write the word ordinary in every journal entry. You will just write it as shares. That's it. If they mention preference, you need to write it as preference shares. If they give equity, you need to write it as equity shares. But if they mention ordinary, do not write the word ordinary in your journal entries. Well, now these 10,000 shares are being issued at rupees 100 each. So the nominal value or the face value is 100 rupees. On application, allotment and first and final call, if you make a total of it, so it's going to be 100. So the issue price is equal to the face value. That means the shares are being issued at par. Keeping this in mind, all the shares were subscribed and the money was duly received past the necessary journal entries. The shares being subscribed is on application, allotment, and first and final call. The amount was duly received means on application we are going to receive the money, that is in the first journal entry, followed by in the next set of journal entries, that is on allotment, we are going to receive the money, and at the last on first and final call also we are going to receive the money. Pass the necessary journal entries. So here you have the solution. Journal entries in the books of MTNL Company Limited. We have the format of journal. The first set of journal entry is on bank account debit to share application account. So how did we get 10,000? As it is mentioned in the question, it is 10,000 shares which are being issued, and on application they have allotted rupees 25. So 10,000 shares of rupees 25. The amount that is being debited and credited is 2,50,000. Narration for this journal entry is share application money received. Now, in order to transfer this money to share capital account, the journal entry is share application account debit to share capital account. It is the application money. Okay, it is the application money which is now being transferred to share capital. So 10,000 shares of rupees 25 each, 2,50,000 is debited and credited. Share allotment account debit to share capital account, being share allotment money is due. Due means we have not yet received the money on allotment for 10,000 shares of rupees 35 each as mentioned in the question. So the amount that is being debited and credited is 3,50,000. In order to receive the money, the journal entry is bank account debit to share allotment account. On 10,000 shares of rupees 35 each, we have received the money. Amount that is being debited and credited is 3,50,000. With respect to the last set of journal entries, share first and final call account debit to share capital account, being share first and final call money due. So money is still pending on first and final call for 10,000 shares of rupees 40 each as mentioned in the question. So the amount being debited and credited is rupees 4 lakh. So still we haven't received the money. Next, bank account debit to share first and final call account being share first and final call money received, that is on 10,000 shares of rupees 40 each. We have received the money on first and final call. Rupees 4 lakh is being debited and credited. So students, from the question, first and foremost, we need to know how many shares are being issued. Shares issued. We need to know whether the shares are being issued at par or premium. The next part of the question, you need to find out how much money is being allotted on application, allotment, and on calls. See whether all the shares are being subscribed and whether you have received all the money, that is on application, allotment, and calls. So with this, here you have your assignment question. Work it out, and you can observe in this assignment question it says the company has issued preference shares. So therefore do mention preference in front of shares while you're writing the journal entries. Thank you, students.